Earth and water is covered. When are we getting air? Where does BRABUS see itself in 10 years? You put that in on purpose. Hey guys, what's up? It's time for another Q&A here at BRABUS. And this time we have another set of important questions, a lot of questions that we received over the last month. And as always, guys, I have not seen any one of those. Might have seen them on Instagram or YouTube by accident. I don't know what the team selected. I'm gonna turn them over, read them for the first time, and answer them as best as I can. So here we go. Question number 1 by Justess. Hello, will be sometime BRABUS Marine Jacket available in the online store? Okay. Short answer: there is a few jackets available in the online store already. I think you are referring to the sail racing collaboration jacket. You might be referring to that. It's a pretty cool jacket. That was team only, but we're going to make sure that over the next few months you will see more and more products that we showed in the Signature Show 2022 coming into the store. So it's always worth to check it out and see what else is coming online. Next question. Next question by what's the F star Stark? Okay. A question following up on the topic of entry-level luxury. What is your opinion of the collaboration between Omega and Swatch? And will there be a BRABUS version of the AMG Project ONE? Sneaky. You know, the guys are asking one question, but actually there are 3 questions in there. Okay, let's start. Will there be a BRABUS version of the AMG Project ONE? Now, as you guys know, actually I think we've never addressed this in the video, but as you guys know, we're getting one. That's why the beautiful models are standing behind me. We're getting number 166. I can't wait to take delivery and see what the final car looks like and feels like. Is there going to be a BRABUS version of the AMG Project ONE? Now, if there is going to be a BRABUS version, let me answer it this way. Of the AMG Project ONE, it's going to be a one of one because we're getting one car. But as of now, I believe that it is unlikely that we're going to do anything with the car or with the car. I'm kind of playing around with the idea in my head, but looking at then the resolution of that puzzle is going to be something that isn't really the spark of inspiration that I experience when I get out of bed in the morning, or isn't really, you know, whether I like it or not. The resolution of the answer to that question is going to be that we have 1 million products in development and production, and that we can simply only do a few things at once. And if the shop is full, the company is full, development is full, manufacturing is full, there's only so many things we can do. Do I like the idea generally of doing a Project ONE BRABUS edition one-off? Absolutely. I'd be in the wrong job if I would not like that. But is it going to be feasible? It's unlikely. Never say never. I don't know what we're going to come up. I don't know what we're going to come up with in the next 12 months, but it is, as of now, my honest answer is it is unlikely. Hope that answers the question. And I'd much rather, honestly, I'd much rather invest in a few of the other projects that we have in store for you guys that are going to be fun as well. Next question by Frickes. Would it be possible to build white carbon, to create a white edition? Thank you for the question. Good answer. My first rebuttal is: do you mean interior or exterior? On the inside of cars, we have already done that. It turns out it's a bit more complicated to color carbon fiber in white than it is to, for example, color it in blue or color it in green. We've done it in white. Looks cool, depending on the interior design. On the outside, I have never seen carbon fiber in white. You know what? I'm going to inquire about it. We've never done it. I've never seen it. When it comes to exterior, and as I'm answering this, as a million technical things going through my head of how it could or could not be done, I think it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. And I'm talking pre-preg carbon fiber parts that are real carbon fiber. I'm not talking about, you know, wrapping your car with something that looks like carbon fiber, or even carbon fiber where there is a steel or a plastic part underneath. I'm talking about real carbon fiber parts. I'm gonna be talking to engineering and clear it up for you and give you the answer in one of the next videos. Next question by Katharina Amberg. Seriously, guys. Fresh, du bist ja immer jünger, was tust du? You're getting younger and younger, what are you doing? Believe me, I'm not. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you saw, and thank you very much for the compliment, but I'm absolutely not. I'm a walking heap of spare parts. And this job is definitely not making me younger. If it appears like that, then I think we need to shoot more video. Maybe it's got like a conservation effect or something. But thank you very much. Next question. That wasn't really a question. Anyway, we'll leave it in. By Patman030. Hey, will there be a cell phone cover at some point? Really nice black combined with a red and a BRABUS logo. See? I told Sven about 2 hours ago that I wanted to do a cell phone cover. So the answer is going to be yes, I want to do it. We don't have it right now, but I'll take this question with me as a nice reminder that we should have had it a long time ago. So Patman, can we note down the name? As soon as we have one, Patman, one of them is yours. Next question by iamsiar or iamsiar. Erde und Wasser ist abgedeckt. Wann kommt die Luft? Earth and water is covered. When are we getting air? I mean, and a few emojis. I think the question is he's actually asking. We've done cars and boats. When are we going to do planes? Now, I've actually tried to do planes. We've done some very nice designs for private aircraft before. The answer to the question, is it a viable business, as it turns out, is that it's a very, very difficult business. There's a few players in that business that are very renowned, but when it comes to individuality and the kind of designs that we do, aircraft is difficult for the sole reason that every single rule and every single regulation that you have in that sector of motorized things moving through the air with passengers on board, that's important. It is a super heavily regulated industry, and every single piece of that regulation, mainly coming from America in its origin, is prohibiting individuality. Because aircraft, I mean, it might be an answer getting too technical right now, but basically aircraft today have very, very long life cycles. And if you modify something in an aircraft, or if you build it to an individual spec that is somewhat going away from the already certified and built according to regulations and standards from that scope, then you are going to have to certify every single material, every single part, every single screw, every single piece of leather back to its full origin. In essence, it makes other areas of business a lot more attractive for what we are doing. And it makes the area of private aircraft very complicated for what we are doing. And if you've been in private aircraft, or if you've looked at private aircraft, no matter what size, it's a heavily commoditized market, and the individualization of private, if you really look at who owns private aircraft that are built to an individual spec, it's this much of the market. It's probably this much of the market, I don't know. And in that niche in the market, you're going to find a few established players, and you're going to find customers who will want their very own style, one of one. And that probably doesn't always reflect what we do as BRABUS, which is modern and progressive designs, just like you see it on the boats. So I'm not saying it's not going to happen again. I'd love to do an aircraft. And we have manufactured seats for aircraft. We have manufactured parts for aircraft. I'd love to design a complete aircraft, but until now, other areas of business have certainly been more attractive because of the reasons I just stated. Hope that answers the question. And also, I'm sorry, guys, I sometimes can't be more specific. But I'm just, as I said, I'm seeing these questions for the first time, so I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Next question by Hardy Dupont. BRABUS Connect, great video with JP. Follow-up thought on the future of combustion cars. Could you imagine people being dissed in 15 years when they move their 300 SL in brackets dream car on the road? Short answer is no, I can't. I think that especially in markets like Central Europe, aka Germany, France, Italy, and all other European or close to European markets, or in the US, cars are part of our culture, they are part of our heritage, and there's a lot of really things that I could really consider art and iconic, like the 300 SL that you correctly describe as a dream car. And I don't think that we will not be able to drive them, and I don't think that you will be looked at in a negative way. I do, however, think that if we drive them, they will have to adhere to rigorous standards when it comes to the kind of fuel they use. We've been doing the first tests with carbon neutral fuels. In other words, what do you call them? Synthetic fuels. And as far as we have tested it, they work fine with old-timers. A lot of the ones that we are building and restoring at BRABUS, and I think that's going to be one of the main things. The question isn't really, do you want to drive an old-timer? Do you want to move a modern sports car from the 90s, the 2000s, or a current one? But the question is going to be, how much emissions are these cars emitting on the road? And that's going to be the main concern. And by the way, thank you for your compliment on the video with Jean-Pierre Kramer. Next question by Brabus B30. Hey Konstantin, I saw the Brabus launch and it looked amazing. Can I ask you a quick question? What was your favorite childhood car? Thank you very much for the question. I'm thinking you're talking about the Brabus Signature Night. That, by the way, guys, the videos are the road to Signature Night of how we made the first ever fashion show for cars happen, as well as the actual show, are live on YouTube as part 1 and part 2. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I think it's it's two of the best videos and certainly the best release event we've ever done. And by the way, since we're talking about it, thank you very much, guys, for your feedback, because that has been amazing, and it's very rewarding to see that you guys are not only looking at what we do, but you're also liking it, and you're sending us a lot of constructive criticism, things we can improve on next year. I always appreciate that, as you know. What was my favorite childhood car? I have to say, from the top of my head, not thinking about it too long, I have to say the SL series. It has been my father's favorite cars. So I can remember my dad driving SLs for as long as I can think, and I think that is, yeah, that's the, the 129, the R230. Those are the cars, sort of the dream cars of my childhood. Now I turned into an Aston Martin fan for a long time. One of my absolute favorite cars was that, where I said, should I once have the kind of money to buy it, I'm going to get it, was the Aston Martin Vanquish. That was a dream that didn't come true. The SL, I'm very as far as the SL, I'm super excited for the launch of the new one. I think it is the best SL that Mercedes has built for a number of years, and I also think that an overhaul of the vehicle was absolutely overdue. And I also think that a new and really good SL was absolutely overdue. I think it is one of the most iconic series of cars that Mercedes-Benz has built so far, or has put out so far. And I believe the Mercedes-Benz community deserves an SL that is as good as a new one. Next question by Felix. Hey Konstantin, I just watched your video about family businesses and entrepreneurship. Since I shouldn't be reading too much text. Since I am in a similar family situation, I have to express my highest praise because the video has helped me tremendously. I have one burning question. Where and what exactly did you study? Did you develop as a person during your studies in such a way that looking back you consider it irreplaceable. Okay, first things first, Felix, I think you're referring to the video that I did with Sana Röser, the chairman of the Young Entrepreneurs, Vorsitzende der Jungen Unternehmer. And I'm very glad you liked it, because family business and how to lead a family business and how to kind of navigate that line between the two poles, basically family and business. Family being a system run on, you know, the principle of love and inclusion, and the enterprise, the company, being a system that is run on performance and exclusion if you don't perform. Is not only a part of my daily job, but it's also a key part of what I believe in when it comes to leadership and when it comes to culture in business. Family businesses are the foundation of the German economy, not only of the German economy, but of the economy in many countries. And I am a big fan of that form of business. Now, I'm very glad that you are taking something from those videos, because I don't believe that we should be putting out content as BRABUS that is just click optimized. I don't think that we should be putting out content that is just made for YouTube and doesn't offer any depth for the sake of more clickable content. I believe that as a company, and you know, because simply that's what I want to do, we are going to continue to make videos that offer real content and real stories and real insights into the kind of things going on here and into the type of business that we run on a daily basis. So I'm glad that you watched that video, that you liked it, and that you took something away from it, because a discussion that I'm having on a daily basis is whether we should opt for more quality content or for more, you know, more easily digestible, clickable content that doesn't really bring across what I want to bring across. What did I study? I studied business. I studied business and Wirtschaftswissenschaften, which is business economics. In my bachelor's degree, I studied general management. I have to think about it, to be honest. It's quite a few years ago. General management for my master's degree, and then did a few add-on courses, seminars, and programs, especially in the areas of project and program management in the US. And did I grow as a person during my studies? Absolutely. And did I, looking back, do I consider my education irreplaceable? I think so. It's not only my education, but I consider the time I spent in university irreplaceable. I consider the friends I made irreplaceable. I consider the time I had, the time it gave me to grow up and be confronted with growing challenges over time, irreplaceable. And I just don't want to miss, I would never want to miss the time I spent in college. If your question is geared towards telling you if you should stay the course, I think you should. You know, it's sometimes challenging to be in uni, I know, or to go to college, but sometimes you just have to get through it, finish it. So yes, I do consider it irreplaceable. Next question by Alex Black _XOXO. Mwah. Are you planning to break the 1000 horsepower mark, e.g. with the upcoming S63 AMG? Yes, I've been planning to break the 1000 horsepower barrier for the last 20 years. And I think we're getting closer to it. Are we going to do it with the upcoming S63, aka the car that should have been on the market for a year? Probably not, because it is the same engine generation that you see in our current, in the Maybach, and in the current generation of other models. And it is specifically not the engine that the new generation of EQ Power Plus vehicles coming out of AMG will feature. Those vehicles give us a lot more base power to work with, because they combine combustion engine drivetrain with additional electric power. and I believe those are a more realistic target for trying to achieve something like this. Are we going to achieve it? I'm going to tell you once it happens. I don't know. I seriously don't know, but it would be something cool, I think. Next question by CC. Hi, I'm doing a school project on BRABUS and wanted to ask which car, so which Mercedes was the first BRABUS model? Okay, now you guys are thinking this is something I should know from the top of my head, but it depends on what the question is. Is the question what was the first car we ever touched? Is the question what was the first car my father ever sold? Or is the question what is the first car that really that we got the first attention for? The first car that sort of went viral, if you want to say it like that, without the internet being present. Let's do the following. I'm gonna opt for my telephone joker in this one. Yes, Sven. Hi, I'm doing a Q&A. We're live.
Oh, okay.
And you're my telephone joker. Quick question. There's somebody asking, hi, I'm doing a school project on BRABUS and wanted to ask which car, so which Mercedes was the first BRABUS model?
I would say, so it was before my time, so I'm really sorry about that, but it might be the 201 or 123. The W123 might be the first one, I think.
What about the 190?
Yeah, that came later. That came in 82. The W123 was a bit further.
It was a bit earlier, you mean?
A bit earlier, yeah.
Yeah, 123. But then the first one that we really, it depends on, are we talking about the first car we ever touched? Are we talking about the first car he ever sold? Or are we talking about the first car we got the kind of attention for that was international? Then I would say it's the 190E 3.6S.
Yeah, it was a 190E. It's a 2-liter. That was the first really BRABUS hot-selling tuning car.
So, we're gonna say 190E as the first car that we got real attention for, and the W123, was it W123? No.
W123.
W123.
Former E-Class. Before it was called W124, that was the former E-Class, what was never called E-Class. That was a 200 or 230, and I think the first car your father tuned was the /8, /8 in Germany.
What about the vans?
They came also in the 80s, the 207s and things like that.
That was later, right?
Yeah, that was later. But also in the 80s, also the beginning of the 80s, and the 190E was starting 1982, I think. So very early, but that was really the tuning, the BRABUS tuning program was completely developed for this, so a complete set and wheels and things like that. Okay,
we're gonna do the following. We'll put pictures of the 190E 2-liter car. We're gonna put pictures of the 207 van that we put out as a BRABUS tune version, and we're going to put on pictures of the 123, and
which was the former E-Class.
Which was the former E-Class.
Yeah, it was never called E-Class, but it was the E-Class.
And then you guys get to decide which one you think was the most original BRABUS car. Thank you, Sven.
Okay, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Always works. The Walking BRABUS Bible. Sven Gram. As an addition, the only car that we have here currently is a 190E in black. We don't have a 123 and we don't have an old van. And if I would ever see them on the market, I think I would buy one back. Next question by Frickes. What benefits did increasing your social media presence have on your business? Some underlying questions I think about for this topic may be, did the broad presence noticeably boost your sales? Did you know somehow that increases your brand's publicity and recognition value? Did it increase your customer satisfaction since they now own a masterpiece that is more broadly recognized as something really special? There is a whole video on why I think more company owners and CEOs should be on social media. I don't know why many more people that have an interesting business with a lot of stories to tell are not on social media, whether that is LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, whatever fits your business. Do I think it has a benefit? Absolutely. I could not have overvalued the effect of telling the stories that are behind our brand, of telling the things that I believe make our brand special, of taking you guys with me into the company, showing you what's really going on. We have been doing this for a very limited time, and already it's become an irreplaceable part of what we do. It's creating what I like about it is that it's creating a direct connection between you guys and us, between you guys and me. It creates direct feedback. It creates a possibility for me to integrate your opinions, your comments, what you think about our product, the company, and the way we work into my everyday life and into my everyday work, and that is invaluable. And it creates the possibility for me to tell the stories that I tell on a daily basis on a 1-to-X basis. You know, if we in former times sat on trade shows and I welcomed every single guest, and I'm not saying that I'm not going to continue doing this. Of course, we're going to go to trade shows and events, and I'm going to have one-to-one conversations. But what's happening now through social media is I get to do my job, and I get to tell the same stories on a 1 to 10,000 basis, in a 1 to 100,000 ratio. That of course creates huge efficiency. And this is the technical part of the answer. The emotional part of the answer is that it lets a lot more of you guys take part in our journey, and it gives me a lot more inspiration, because the more people I end up being in conversation with, the more are going to come back to me with an answer, with an opinion, with a comment, and the better I can do my job tomorrow if I keep my ears open and I listen to you guys, which I am doing very closely. So yes, absolutely. Why not more CEOs and company owners in Germany and around the world are doing it is a complete mystery to me. I do not know it. Maybe they haven't seen what I see in modern media. Maybe they just don't want to do it because they don't feel that they should be in front of a camera. Maybe because their kind of business is not the kind of business where you should be presenting it on social media. Although every single time I discuss it with other company owners, and they tell me, "Oh, I'm in an industry where I shouldn't be displaying it shouldn't be telling the stories on social media," I ask them, "What do you do?" And then they come up with an answer saying something, and then they tell me something like, "Oh, I'm producing machines," or I'm making products from metal," or something that's super technical. And then my normal question is, well, then why aren't you on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn? And their normal answer is, because nobody does that from my industry. And then I'm going to say, why are you not the first one to do it? So I don't get it. I think maybe it's a generational thing, and maybe we're going to see more people doing it in the future, and I hope so. Last question of the day by Krixe Official. Quixie Official. Hey Konstantin, I have a question for a Q&A. Where does BRABUS see itself in 10 years? You put that in on purpose. Okay, Dennis put that one last on purpose. Oh God. I don't know where we are going to be in 2 years. I don't know where we're going to be in 1 year. So it is managing this company for me right now is, on the one hand, it's difficult, because you can really only fly by sight with all the things going on. There is the war in Ukraine, there's the pandemic, there is inflation, there's all kinds of things that are going to make our life difficult, and gas price, energy prices, all those nasty topics at once. And you can literally only look at what's developing and then react. I believe that the definition of management is to take care of the variables that you can control and work with those and plan those. Only in a limited way is it managing and controlling the variables that are out of your control. So I'm focusing on the things that I can control. And that also leads me to the other side of the same coin, which is to have faith in our business, and which is to orchestrate and to organize this company in a way that is consistent, that is long-term, and that is built on a very solid foundation. We're managing BRABUS for two things right now. One is resilience, In other words, how stable, how are we, how good of a foundation do we have if times get rougher? And the other thing is speed. How much speed can we exhibit? How fast do we turn projects over? How fast do we put new products out on the market? I've said it many times, I'm going to say it time and time again. If there is no movement in a brand, if there is no movement no forward movement in a company, that isn't really good for a business. If there's too much movement in a company or business, that is also not good for business, because it ends up being chaos. But I'm focusing on creating forward movement, building a consistent company that has a solid foundation and that is as resilient as it can be to go into the future and to grow into the future. Do I know where we're going to be in 10 years? As I said, I have absolutely no idea. And if you encounter business plans, or if you encounter consultants, or if you encounter people who want to tell you, or who tell you that they've got a glass ball, and they might even take it out of the closet to show you, or they put nice graphs on PowerPoint slides, that has got nothing to do with entrepreneurship. Just when I look at the project stream that we have in the company right now, it is unavoidable that we have a project stream of about 24 to 36 months. So technically, I know where this company is headed. I know that I have to build, for example, a central warehouse, and that's going to take me 1 to 2 years. And when I've got that central warehouse, as it happens to be right now, when I've got a central warehouse finished, I can then revamp my production processes, which is again going to take me 1 to 2 years. And if we just take those 2 projects in a sequential order, that makes up a plan of 4 years. And this is just one of hundreds of examples that we've got in the company right now. So do I know where the company is supposedly moving in the next 4 years, 3 years to 4 years? I absolutely know, because that's my job. Do I know if that is going to happen the way I imagine? Absolutely not. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. But I'm going to try to stick to that plan, having developed it in good faith, as much as I can. But reality might prevent me from executing it the way I want to execute it. But that is life. So I have no idea where I see myself in 10 years, and where I see the company in 10 years. No. Okay, that's it for today. Guys, as always, thank you very much for the questions. It's been a pleasure. I don't know if some of them answers have been too short or too long. I think I hope that you took something away from it, as always. There were some tough ones in there, I think, today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely some tough ones. However, I like it. However, I like it. It's also, you know, it's also testing myself each and every time how much I know about our own business and the industry. So thank you guys very much. Please keep sending us questions. Send them to us in the form of YouTube comments. Send them to us in the form of direct messages on Instagram. Send them to us in the form of smoke signs, if you want. That doesn't matter. Send me letters, send me whatever you want. I'm going to pick them up. We look at every single one of the questions that reaches us. I know not every single one can be answered in a video like that, but still we appreciate it, and we are looking for an even more direct connection to you guys out there.